Hello builders. So this is my work table bench that I've been wanting to create a frame, greeblified frame for it for many years. Reached out to Brian Thompson to help me out with the design, and he came up with some really awesome stuff. Some laser cut acrylic. I gave him some of my ideas, and he went wild with his own and came up with some really great stuff for me. So this here is, the fun part where it begins, putting greeblies together and found parts and, laying them out to see how they'll fit. After that, I created a frame. And the frame needed a treatment on the top of it. So I found some glues, different adhesives that would work for this. And the treatment piece was actually found by Dave Tess, who did a post a while back of some, cabinet liner type material. And it just worked out perfect. When I saw it, I immediately knew that it was going to work for what we do. So I'll put a link to that. Next up, we've got just some wiring. And, obviously I painted all the panels first with the pinstriping and color options that I wanted. Also found this really great acrylic score and snap tool for rough cutting acrylic, and it worked pretty good for some of these back pieces that don't have to be perfect, but I'm pretty sure you probably could get some pretty good cuts out of it. This is my screen that I purchased. I loved it because it was thin, and there was some challenges. After I designed and 3D printed the frame, I had to also design and 3D print some button mechanics, basically like a fulcrum lever here that I designed in Tinkercad, where I do most of my designing, and 3D printed those. That's the front of the screen frame there, and I actually had some speaker type material that I put in those two oval slits there that is helping the LED screen sounds project through like an actual speaker box. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Next up is just some of the wiring, right? So there's a couple different power sources. One is a 12 volt converter for most of my bigger LEDs and buttons. Another one is a converter or controller that I purchased from Jamie Dull of Outer Rim. And so his controller is pretty awesome. It allows for all sorts of different combinations of flashing lights, and it's really great, and it's affordable. And so I just ran a power splitter with cables to each one of those. I used two of his little controller boxes. All of my panels are wired up with switches or plugs, I should say, so that I can unplug each one of them from itself and from its power source and service it and work on it if I needed to. And then, some of the tricks that I've picked up lately was with the lighting schemes to just use diffuser foam and Gorilla Tape over the back of it on top of your LED. I used to build these little light boxes, and they were a pain in the butt, and I saw somebody, it must have been Brian Thompson or somebody, do that in a build video, and it was like a bingo. Flash bulb went off in my head when I saw that. So yeah, that's the build. It turned out pretty good. I hope everybody likes it. I think it's a perfect fit for the Star Wars Utica station.